Howdy, y'all. This is the Southern Fried Film Nerd. I'm Brandon Tackett, and today we're going to be talking about one excellent scene. But first, I need to get a little backstory out of the way. I was born on July 8th, 1982. A bouncing baby boy with his whole life ahead of him. However, it wasn't until November 7th, 1992 that the man I would become was born. I was only 10 years old. I had never read a comic book. I didn't know what a comic book was. I didn't even know what a good story was. And then it happened. I saw what was not only one excellent moment, but what would be my first excellent moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you X-Men the Animated Series, Night of the Sentinels Part 1 and 2, The Aftermath of Morph's Death. Up until that moment, I was just a child, being entertained by what amounted to nothing more than bright colors on the TV screen. But on that chilly November evening, I watched those bright colors die on TV, right in front of me, without any parental intervention or protection. Now, at the time, I didn't understand exactly what was going on, and it led to a very serious conversation with my parents about how Morph got really tired and just needed to go to sleep for a while. And it also came with a very stern, "We don't think you need to be watching that show anymore." But I did keep watching because it had provided me with something I had never experienced before. Something that would come to thrill me and drive me to consume story after story after story. Emotional depth. So when I happened across Nando's video about the assault on the X Mansion in X2 and his invitation to all of us out here on the interwebs to talk about our memories and experiences with the X-Men franchise, I thought to myself, hey, I got one of those. So I rushed off to Disney Plus, got myself a subscription, and I rewatched Night of the Sentinels Part 1 and 2 for the first time in nearly 28 years. 28 years! I'm old! It was interesting to rewatch those episodes and that moment with the critical eye that it itself had set into development all those years ago. There is one crucial thing that I have learned in all of these years, and that is that one excellent scene, no matter what it is in, does not exist in a vacuum. It requires build-up, character development, and emotional resonance. So, as quickly as I can, I'm gonna go ahead and hit a couple of the highlights along the way that makes the aftermath of Morph's death so impactful on me that even after all the X-Men content that has come out in the years since, it remains my one excellent scene. So, let's begin. Our story begins with two wonderful, amazing parents casually discussing their foster daughter's uncontrollable mutant orientation. Whew, man, the allegory is strong with this one. Jubilee balling up in tears stating that she used to be a normal kid is still relatable to me to this very day. A mechanized monstrosity arrives to take Jubilee away, and I have to say, I'm surprised no one notices that behemoth that's so heavy it cracks the ground under its feet when it walks. Like, seriously, no one comes out to see what the noise is? Or why the ground is shaking or nothing? It literally crashes through the second story of their house and they react like a whatnot fell off the shelf. The next scene we're treated to in this bright, colorful cartoon is one of hatred, fear, and pure, unadulterated racism as Jubilee is run out of an arcade for being one of them. But that's okay, because whoops! Jubilee conveniently runs into the very people she needs to run into at the exact moment she needs to run into them. Convenient mutants are convenient. I love how no one reacts to the Sentinel unless it is in their direct line of sight. Also, kudos to Gambit for just rocking his superhero attire like it ain't no thing. At least Storm and Rogue put on their normal clothes to go to the mall. Gambit's all like, nah, screw that. I'm gonna wear greaves and armor and this rad trench coat. I want everyone in this mutant-hating world to know who I am. Oh, and here's a good one. I am Storm, mistress of the elements, with the magical ability to make my clothes turn into my superhero costume. So we get a nice action sequence with our favorite X-People and Cyclops coming to Jubilee's aid. All of this opening section exists solely to define what kind of a world the characters live in, and it's a real winner. Hate, fear, danger. Anyway, we're off to the X Mansion, where all of our characters get little character beats to establish and develop them, but for our purposes, we're going to be focusing on Morph. In Eric Edson's book, The Story Solution, he covers the 9 things that we can do as authors to establish sympathy and or empathy with our reader for our main character. However, these 9 things can also apply to the other characters in our story. These 9 things are courage, unfair injury, making them skilled at something, making them funny, making them genuinely nice, starting them in danger, making them hardworking, loved by their friends and family, and making them obsessed about something. These are all things that we as readers and viewers can relate to and connect with when we see them in stories and film. He states that you only need one of them, but the more of them that you can fit in, the greater the effect will be on the audience. So, with those things in mind, let's take a look at Morph's first scene. He's lounging, flipping through channels, using his mutant ability of shape-shifting to mock different personalities on TV. He's funny, a bit of a jester, but he's also very skilled because he doesn't miss a beat, effortlessly changing from form to form. Also, by the nature of the world he lives in, he has an unfair injury he can't do anything about by being a mutant. And by being a mutant, he is in danger because he exists in a world where giant monster bots are hunting mutants for nefarious purposes. So, 4 out of 9 in his first scene, which only lasts a couple of seconds, and that is impressive. We'll come back to skill later on. At least one more of these traits will pop up, but for now, onward! Blah, 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 we get some more scenes about mutant hate. It's called theme, and you generally want it to be a bit more subtle than this. Anyway, here's an interesting question. So do Gambit and Wolverine get teleported to their training sequence the moment someone activates it? Because there is no other reason for them to just be there when Jubilee accidentally starts it. She doesn't wander into it, she actively starts it. Wouldn't that be inconvenient? Like if one of them was on the toilet or something? What? Don't like potty humor? Anyway, moving on. We finish up our tour of the X Mansion, and then, after they put so much effort into foiling Jubilee's attempt to escape the X Mansion, Jubilee casually escapes the X Mansion. Seriously, all the X people are just all of a sudden like, there's no need to keep an eye on this strange kid to make sure she doesn't do anything stupid. Because of plot? Oh, don't mind me. I'm just a massive, easily noticeable mechanical monstrosity hiding beside this building. A-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Seriously, the Sentinels are an endless source of humor in this, constantly sneaking around without making noise, without being seen, changing shape and size at will. Jubilee predictably gets caught. At the same time, our brave X-people decide they need to go destroy all the mutant files in the Mutant Control Agency. Wolvie displays his distaste for Cyclops. I mean, who doesn't, right? That guy. Loser. And then he displays the fact that he is a terrible team player. This will be important later on, so keep it in mind. We get a nice little scene of our X-people talking about how terrible it is to be a mutant, and a bit more of Morph being a jokester. They really lean on funny for his sympathy/empathy building. Anyway, Wolvie shows up because the best tracker in the world can't track a young woman further than just outside of the mansion that she was just in. Apparently. Now we're back to talking about Morph's skill. He's not as skilled as the other X-people. I mean, yeah, Wolvie and Beast just unceremoniously chuck him over the fence, but the important part here is that he doesn't land gracefully. He just kind of thuds down on the other side. Yet when Wolvie and Beast come over the fence, they make it look easy. This brings attention to the notion that he may not be as skilled in a fight as the others, and draws attention to the fact that his power isn't an active combat ability. He has the physical prowess, assumably, of an average human being, and this makes him relatable to the audience. I have no idea why this guard would run up to someone who's just jumped over the fence of the facility he is guarding and ask them why they are okay, instead of drawing a weapon and alerting everyone else. But, oh well. Yeah. Just let them all in. Come on, guys. It's a free-for-all in here. Just raid the entire facility. They don't pay me enough anyway. Screw them. Go ahead. Destroy all the files. It's fine. Our X-people infiltrate the facility using their various skills and ability. And then they're about to walk into a trap, and next time on X-Men, the animated series, which is right now thanks to the marvel of modern streaming. Let's go! Now, here comes another scene showcasing Morph's lack of skill when compared to the others. Storm flies down the hall, Wolvie darts down the hall, Beast leaps down the hall all nimbly-pimbly like, and Morph slams into the doorframe and says, ow. Not very super, am I right? They're showing us that he's not as agile as the others. Again, making him more relatable to the audience. But he's also charging into the very same combat that they are. And that makes him courageous, which gives him 1 point to courage. We're up to 5 out of 9. Not bad for the old Morphster, right? Morph then uses his ability to trick a bunch of security guards into a locked room. You know, his ability is tailor-made for the audience that would have loved this show. What lonely misfit outsider do you know who wouldn't want to be able to turn into a different person? Alright, now we get a quick scene of Jubilee being interrogated, and just let me say, her tied to a cold clinical table with a machine above her with a bunch of arms and various implements of torture is terrifying. What a kid's cartoon, right? Now, we get a nice long action set piece that culminates in the moment that traumatized and enlightened me for years to come. Morph, displaying his courage, rushes to save Wolvie from an overwhelming force of Sentinels. This goes back to earlier, when Wolvie displayed his lack of being a team player. He rushed headlong into a fight he could not handle, instead of waiting for his team, and Morph died for it. Upon re-watching this, I can only sit in admiration of the amount of sophistication they put into the scenes following Morph's death. They don't show it, but instead, the somber score kicks in and they cut directly to his friends and family reacting to his loss. We get moments of sadness, grief, anger, blame, and pure rage. And then we get Wolvie's scene of soul searching and recalling the events that led to Morph's death. At the time, I did not understand what I was seeing or how it made me feel. But I do remember the feeling of being anxious and full of dread. With Beast being captured, I knew that all these characters that I had come to like were going to have to put themselves back in danger to go save their friend. And for the first time in my life, I did not know if all those characters were going to come through it okay. They had already killed one of them, and for all I knew, they could kill another one or all of them. This forever changed the way I would watch, read, or play any kind of media that involved a story. It was as though I had discovered some dark secret, a forbidden temple ripe for exploration. From that point forward, I would seek out the stories that would move me, the ones that would make me feel, the ones that would make me laugh and cry and cheer and scream and quiver, all because of one excellent scene. My name is Brandon Tackett, and I am the Southern Fried Film Nerd. However, this is not my main channel. On my main channel, I am currently chronicling my endeavor to get healthier, and if that is something you would be interested in, I'm going to drop the link to that channel in the description below. If it's not, that's fine. I did this primarily because I got inspired. But I will say I am not opposed to doing stuff like this once or twice a week, different movies, TV shows, books that I have read and enjoy. I do love talking about the craft. So if you would like to see more of this, you can like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell. Because let's be honest, there is no better way to tell me that you want something than to want it. So, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. As always, go forth and be good humans.